What is the current state of the Dallas Mavericks post-free agency? Plus, who has the most to gain this upcoming season? All that and more coming up next on the DLLS Mavs podcast. Hey, what's up, DLLS Mavs Nation? It's your man, Kevin Gray, alongside Mavericks beat writer Tim Cato. We, of course, are DLLS Mavs, your favorite guys, coming your favorite team every single day. Slightly biased, going to be joining us at 12:30 p.m. to discuss the craziest moments from this past season. Plus, we get into what is the current state of the Mavericks post-free agency as we are now into the month of August. Really appreciate all of you hanging out with us here on DLLS Sports. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe while you're here, and download our podcast wherever you get your podcast for free. Just search DLLS Mavs, get a 5-star rating, and write a review for it while you're there. Tim Cato on this amazing Monday afternoon now, sir. How are you? Good to see you.
It felt like a quick weekend.
Did it feel quick to you?
It did.
Did you have a good weekend, though, even though it was quick?
Okay.
It was okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got our guy Tanner, making us look good and sound good as always. Tanner, what's up? How you doing?
Doing good. Yeah, the weekend went by way.
It did go by too quick. My kid's going to be starting school next week, so it's like officially starting to be the sunset of summer when school starts to roll around. So, yeah, shout out to the kiddos who are going to be going back to school here in the next couple of weeks. Our guy, Bobby Krell, of course, remains on vacation. He'll be back later on this week. And our guy, Mark Stein, he was out there hanging out in Los Angeles this weekend for a certain 77s press conference in Los Angeles. So we will catch up with him later on this week as well. But we are into the dog days of the offseason, of course, with free agency over with, the calendar turning from July to August as we get ready for Eurobasket here in a few weeks with some NBA stars going to be in action. What is the current state of the Dallas Mavericks right now? With Cooper Flagg, of course, having been drafted number 1 overall by this team. They signed D'Angelo Russell. They got Daniel Gafford's contract extension done. Kyrie Irving is back in the fold as well for the next few seasons. What is the current state of the Mavericks? Let us know in the chat how you're feeling about the Mavericks right now, and we'll get into it, Tim Cato. What is the current state of this Dallas basketball team?
Look, to peel back the curtain, this is kind of just a reframing, another way to frame a lot of the things that we've been saying. I don't know if it's going to be the most brand new, hottest, unique thoughts we've ever had, but I do think it's a different framing, and I would say Dallas is in the process of deciding when the Cooper era starts. That next season is going to be all about, even if the team is just average, even if the team is aligned with our expectations, aligned with some of the more pessimistic outlooks, even if they don't quite hit their over, or even if they end up in the play-in tournament. Do you see enough reason from when the team is healthy on the court together? Do you see enough reason to keep this core together, to keep trying to win now? Because we have seen that very clearly the NBA is in its parity era. Is it? Are we up to 8 consecutive different champions?
I believe so.
Yeah, I think the Thunder was 8, not 7, because it had been 7.
That's right.
Yeah, and so when you consider that, when you look at that, I mean, if Dallas feels it as a championship team, I have always said they should go for it. They should not blow it up just because they have a young guy and go through the process. Who knows? If you spend 4 or 5 years building this team, you might be third place to the still dynastic Thunder and the rampage, the Wemby is coming for everybody, and you just got no chance. So, I think if they think this team is good enough, and they clearly think the team is good enough, which is why they're bringing it into next season and hoping that Kyrie comes back and building all the moves like they have. I want to see it. I think that's what next season is all about. It's not even about the success or failure. We've talked about gap year. We've talked about how it would be okay if everything kind of aligns for the year after next. But I think that you have to be able to see it. I think that's the most important thing for Dallas next year. And so that's kind of the state of the Mavericks. They know that they have a future. a very bright future. They know that they have the guy they're going to build around for 10, 15 years. That guy is in place. And certainly there are questions about how good he is going to be, whether he is going to get to where they need him to be to make this team come together, gel together, to coalesce in a way that is title contending. But, so a lot of it is about that. But a lot of it is also about the roster around it. And like I said, I don't think success, as in like you got to win multiple playoff rounds next season, I don't think that's my definition of success for next season. My definition of success is, do you see that this team has the makings of a title contender going into the year, like the season after next?
Yeah, the 26-27 season. And you look at the current state of the team right now, two things stand out for me. Number one, when healthy, this team is going to be extremely deep. We know what they have decided to do in terms of the large front court that they have, arguably the biggest front court in the league going into next season. And this team is going to be deep with the type of talent that they have on there. And also, as Tim started to mention, you have a clear number one generational talent on this roster that will not only help contribute to winning this year, hopefully for this team, but really for years to come, and with a potential clean break in the next couple of years, deciding on how they want to move forward as a franchise, depending on what happens over the next couple of years. No matter what, Cooper Flagg is here and is in place to be able to give you the kind of window for the next 10 years that will allow this team to continue to build around him and what he is best at on the floor, for this team to hopefully continue to contend in the West, not only now based on what they want to be, but also in the future as well, because there's still a decision to make when it comes to PJ Washington and the contract extension that he's eligible for. At the end of this month, obviously, with bringing Daniel Gafford, Kyrie Irving, and having everyone pretty much under contract at this point, and also adding D'Angelo Russell, they feel like they're in the kind of direction that will allow them to compete until Kyrie Irving comes back. Because no matter how you slice it, no matter how much we talk about it or discuss it, this team's health is going to be the number one question this upcoming season. When I talked to Mark Spears when we were in Las Vegas, he said the number one person that he's going to be watching out for is the guy who's going to be running the training staff for this team, because if that person can keep them out of the training room and on the floor, this team will have a chance to be able to compete in what is a difficult Western Conference. And then when Kyrie Irving comes back, how much more does that ceiling increase when it comes to this franchise? And that, to me, I think is the biggest question. But for me, it's standing out that they got, obviously, Cooper Flagg. That's great, but also this team is really deep as they're able to stay healthy for sure.
Yeah. I guess the other state of the Mavericks is the ongoing process of trying to win a fan base back. And we've seen it. We've seen it very viscerally, such as classic Sting Lover, who said, sorry for Super Chat 199. Sorry, I'm not more active on here. Still heartbroken. He also sent another one. We'll
get to that one a little bit later. Yeah.
Okay. But, we have seen that some people just aren't around as much. Some people are not as locked in. I think that the subset of fans that stands out to be the most is not the people who just chose to stop being fans after this happened. That stands out to me that it takes a lot for a fan base to just lose fans like that. But I don't think that was a huge slice. What does stand out to me is the people who still want to be fans and just feel like they haven't been able to. And now it's a situation where, Luka, I completely lost my train of thought.
I'm sorry.
I'm still building back into
it's off season for everyone.
Cooper Flagg obviously has allowed a lot of fans to focus on what's exciting, what's happy right now. But what happens when you get further into next season? So the state of the Mavericks is this contending team, or is this team that they believe is contenders? Do you see enough to believe in them, to keep them together, to delay the takeover, the full 100% building around Cooper Flagg? Two, how quickly is this Cooper Flagg timeline going to go? How quickly is he going to just make clear he's the best player on the team? How quickly, if you were to take not tear down, just take a step back, trade vets, and then try to build a contending team around Cooper. How long? What does his development look like? How long is that going to take? Is he going to be ready to be the best player on a contending team 3 years from now, 4 years from now? You won't know for sure, but you can have a sense based off how, his rookie year goes. And then you take a look at the fan base, and it's, as you do all these things to try to win them back, and you build a stadium that people may or may not care about, and you don't listen to them in some ways, but you're very apologetic in other ways. What is the state of the Mavericks to the Mavericks fan base? That to me is as important, when you think about the state of the team, as anything.
Yeah, this is an interesting comment coming from Radiant Valkyrie here. To be absolutely honest, I want Cooper Flagg to win a ring as the main guy, i.e. when AD, Kyrie, and Nico are gone. And AD, Kyrie, Nico ring is a Merc ring, not a Dirk ring. That's just me and what I value. Speaking to the idea of Cooper Flagg being, of course, a homegrown talent drafted number 1 by this team. But at the same time, I understand the sentiment, but also you got to find a way to somehow justify the trade that you made 6 months ago. And we saw him make his extension official with Los Angeles over the weekend. Our very own Mark Stein was in Los Angeles covering that. So a title within the next couple of years is something that I think needs to happen for this franchise to justify what they did in trading on from 77. And if Cooper Flagg can be a part of winning that championship, obviously that will help as well. But for the team that's here right now, who is running this team, Nico Harrison obviously being the president and general manager of basketball operations, they need to win a title within the next 3 years to justify all the moves that they have made in order to make this happen. Because otherwise, if they don't, this is a complete and utter failure given what they have decided to do and take the direction of the franchise that they did by moving on from said Luka Doncic. So that, to me, I understand you want to be able to have the kind of homegrown ring with Cooper Flagg being at the head of it. But for the regime that's here right now, that doesn't necessarily matter because they have to find a way to ensure that what they did in moving on from Luka Doncic is justified. Because if they don't, this will be looked at as a colossal failure given what we think Luka is going to be for the next 10 years of his career and what Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving have left for the remainder of their career trying to win a championship here. But I just think that speaks to how fans feel about not only Cooper Flagg being here, but the state of the franchise given what this team has decided to do at this point.
Yeah, it's I think that's the most important part. And, the other big question is, what Patrick Dumont thinks of this.
Mm-hmm.
We went through this last week. I think that's the thing that would affect more larger, serious change to this whole experiment operation organization. The direction that they're taking it. But yeah, it's going to be. Last season was the weirdest season that the Mavericks have ever gone through. But I think next year is going to be strange in a lot of ways too.
It will be.
there's a lot of competing influences being pulled at in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
The Cooper aspect of it, the win now aspect of it, what the fans want, what the front office wants, what the ownership wants.
Can all of that come together within the next year or two to be able to have this be the kind of success that they have created? With Lone Star talking about, is it 3 years? I thought the 3-year window included last season.
Kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, I have said a lot that AD and Kyrie, their contracts run for the next 3 years, but they obviously run with player options. So if
also,
you want
a Jason Kidd contract extension coming as well.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that kind of just.
Yeah, we almost forgot about that. I mean, our guy Mark Stein had discussed the idea that the Mavericks are going to be looking to get one done with him, to move forward with him as their head coach, obviously beyond the next couple of years. Because we saw the flirtation with him, or we saw the Knicks flirtation, I should say, with the idea of potentially bringing in Jason Kidd as their head coach. So trying to build what is a 3-year window that aligns AD, Kyrie, Jason Kidd all together at the same time, because this could be the 3-year window that they have. And then once it ends, what do they have to show for it, given the direction of the franchise? All of that, of course, will still be determined over the course of the next several months, especially once the season begins here couple of months. Let's take our first break here on the DLLS Mavs podcast. When we come back, who has the most to gain, the most to prove, and potentially the most to lose this upcoming season? Dallas Mavericks post free agency. We'll discuss that coming up next here on the show. But when you look good, you feel good. And when you feel good, you want to show it off, especially with everyone who's going to be around you. And Branded Bills can help you do that. Whether you need snapbacks, truckers, fitteds, beanies, or tees, Branded Bills has you covered with performance and style. If you're looking for some gear to make your brand stand out apart from the crowd, Branded Bills is the gear to be able to help you do that. With Branded Bills, they have you covered with the best custom headwear. Start your order today, and their dedicated team will help you create the exact custom apparel that you need. In fact, they have a partnership with 40 colleges as part of their campus collection, including TCU, Texas Tech, and Texas. The new coaches poll is out too, and Texas Longhorns are the _1 team in the country, so you want to make sure you get some apparel to fit it out to show off your love to the Texas Longhorns. Head to brandedbills.com and use code BBDLLS for 15% off your first order. Again, that's BBDLLS for 15% off your first order with Branded Bills today.
You know the moment, the one where you realize you left your favorite sunglasses at the beach or on the roof of your car or at a gas station 3 states away. I've been there too. It happens to the best of us. It also happens to me. But then I found Shady Rays and it changed the game. These sunglasses are made for real life, seriously good looking. They're polarized, they're durable, they're not stupidly expensive, which if you've taken a look at sunglasses prices, I swear big sunglasses is out of control. Everything costs like 80 or 100. Shady Rays. The other wild thing about Shady Rays is if you lose or break them even on day one, Shady Rays will send you a brand new pair. No guilt trip, just replacements. So now I actually wear my sunglasses without fear, on hikes, at concerts, on the boat, wherever. We've teamed up with Shady Rays to bring you an exclusive offer. Head to shadyrays.com and use code DLLS35 for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself. The shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people.
What is the current state of the Dallas Mavericks? We got into that in our first segment. Now we get into who has the most to gain, the most to prove, and the most to lose this upcoming season. Plus, in our next segment, we'll be joined by Slightly Biased to discuss what was the craziest season in Mavericks franchise history. But let us know in the chat when it comes to what you're believing is the players that have the most to prove, the most to lose, and the most to gain this upcoming season. And we'll discuss it here on the show as we, of course, headlong into this offseason. We are now fully into the month of August. Media days for the Dallas Mavericks will be coming in September, on September 29th. Dereck Lively II over the weekend had his Hoops Academy camp at the Dallas Mavericks practice facility, and he had this to say about the reaction that he had when Cooper Flagg wasn't becoming to the Dallas Mavericks. Here's what Dereck Lively had to say.
I was insane. It was an insane moment. We're grateful for it. And, we welcome in Coop with open arms. I called him earlier today, and he's always having a smile on his face, always cracking a joke. So I'm making sure that he's feeling as comfortable as possible, giving him any little detail or any little, thing to give him by. Because whenever I was in his position, I remember how frightened I was, and I was only 19 and he's 18.
So Dereck Lively II going to try to help Cooper Flagg and take him under the swing this upcoming season. That kind of bridges us to our discussion here. Let's start with this one. Who has the most to prove this upcoming season? Dallas Mavericks.
I could name like 7 people right now.
Yeah, you could name a lot of folks.
Yeah. I think it's Bobby Karalla.
Bobby has the most to prove?
We haven't seen him in weeks.
Oh, okay. So he needs to prove that he can still do a podcast? Yeah. Is that what you're saying? Okay, yeah. Got it. Okay.
I mean, my gut reaction wants to say Anthony Davis, which I don't think it's fair to him, and I don't think he should have the most to prove, but end of the day, he is going to be compared to Luka.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think it's AD.
Fairly or unfairly? Oh, I'm talking about AD. I'm sorry, I thought you were talking about Cooper Flagg, but yes.
No, I'm talking about AD.
Yes.
Which I think is also fairly or unfairly.
Yeah.
I don't think it's totally fair. But yeah, no. I think it has to be AD. I think there's other players that you could name. I think there's a lot of people with things to prove next season. But if I have to go with a one answer to this superlative, I will go with Anthony Davis.
I'm going to go with Dereck Lively, who we just heard from. One of the things that he has gone through this offseason, of course, is the offseason foot surgery to remove the bone spurs from his foot. Obviously, he was out with his camp this weekend, moving around. So for him, can he prove that he can stay healthy and be a part of what is arguably the biggest front court and best front court in the league when you consider Anthony Davis, Dereck Lively II, and Daniel Gafford being a part of that? You can add Cooper Flagg, PJ Washington as part of that group as well. So can Dereck Lively go into year 3, prove that he can stay healthy? Because we know when he's on the floor, he's a terrific player, especially on the defensive end with the length and versatility that he has, and how much more, and we've talked about this last week, how much more does his offensive game potentially expand going to this upcoming season as well. So for him, it's going to be about staying as healthy as he can to be able to give this team the kind of depth that it needs to have, because depth is only depth when depth is able to be depth. So that means that everybody's got to stay healthy to allow this team to experience the kind of growth that I believe that they can have. And Dereck Lively is going to be a big part of that going into the upcoming year. So I'm going to nominate Dereck Lively as the guy that's got the most, because he's got to stay healthy.
I'll toss out Caleb Martin. I don't know if he's going to even get a chance to prove
the rotation.
And quite frankly, I don't think he has anything to prove. I think that, yeah, I don't know. Actually, it's not even a prove case. He might just be washed. He doesn't have to prove anything. He's not getting compared.
Well, in that case, he does have to prove that. If some folks might think he might not have enough left, because you look at the trade that they made with, between him and Quentin Grimes, and a lot of folks criticize that one maybe a little bit more than even the Luka Doncic trade, given the way that has worked out and what that did for their financial situation. So I think Caleb Martin's a great nominee for this particular question, because he's got to be able to prove, especially as they're one of the best point of attack defenders, that he's going to be able to contribute and be consistently able to contribute throughout the course of this upcoming season, which gets us to our superlative number 2 in our segment here. Who has the most to gain this upcoming season? We discussed who had the most to prove. Who has the most to gain this upcoming season?
Cooper.
Oh, the number 1 overall pick has the most to gain.
Like I said, it's a weird situation. Like, if he just ascends and is amazing, and he's the reason that he brings this whole team together, it's not a no-lose situation, but nobody, he's in a win-now situation where everybody but him will be faulted if they're not good enough.
That's
yeah. He's not going to get any of the blame.
Yeah, Cooper's not going to get any of the blame here.
He's not going to get an ounce of blame, unless he's, actually really, really, but he's not going to be. As long as he's just, everything that we expect, even if he's not more than we expect, because if he were more than, but if he is more than we expect, then it's only going to be a benefit. It's only going to be, an added value. Yeah.
That's an interesting answer, because I did not think you were going to go there when it came to Cooper Flagg. But yeah, when you look at him and the expectation that he has around him this year, if he's as good as we think he's going to be the runaway rookie of the year across the NBA, and for this team to be able to contribute to hopefully stemming the tide until Kyrie Irving comes back. The most again, I'm gonna go with Shahid, because I agree with him on this one. It's D'Angelo Russell. If all things go well for D'Angelo Russell this upcoming season, he won't be here next year for the Dallas Mavericks, which means he would have had a really good year for this team and will have played himself into a situation where he can make some money elsewhere to continue his career. At this point, he's in a journeyman situation at 29 years old, going to be 30 by the time we get to the end of the season. And for him, he's got to be able to show from day one that not only he has the kind of chip on his shoulder that will translate into success on the floor, but also he can consistently contribute, especially offensively, to provide some scoring punch while Kyrie Irving is away. So if D'Angelo Russell has the kind of year that we think he's capable of, things will go well for him, and he'll have a lot to gain, because that means his bank account will be a little bit bigger by the time we get to next summer in NBA free agency, because that means D'Angelo Russell will have had a good year for this team, and also proving that he can play alongside stars when it comes to Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving once Irving comes back. So I'm going to go with D'Angelo Russell on this particular one. I see Brandon Williams.
I think Brandon Williams is a really good shout, yeah.
Yeah, Brandon Williams, Mason Moneyball 41. Brandon Williams could have the most to gain. He might be the only guy on the roster with a real chance to carve out a significant role where one for him does not currently exist. And there's a little bit of a logjam when it comes to the guards on this team. We expect, obviously, with Dante Exum coming back this upcoming year as well to be a part of the rotation. But Brandon Williams showed in the last couple of months of this past season that he's a real NBA player and can play real NBA minutes. And we saw in the play-in game against the Sacramento Kings his ability to contribute and do so. So Brandon Williams, I think, is a great answer there as well, because not only did he prove it in the regular season in the last couple of months, but did so in the play-in game against the Sacramento Kings when they defeated them for ultimately losing to the Memphis Grizzlies. So good shout out there from Mason Moneyball 41 on Brandon Williams, which gets us to our last one here in our segment today. Who has the most to lose this upcoming season when it comes to the Mavericks? and this basketball team. We went through who has the most to prove, the most to gain, who has the most to lose this upcoming season.
Nico Harrison. I think it's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
If this does not work out, if there are signs that this is not working out, I mean, it's not his vision because Kyrie won't be around until much further into the season. It's not wholly his vision, but this has to work. This has to work for, like
a number of reasons.
Yeah, for the reputation he has staked on it. And that's a lot to lose. Nobody else has reputation on the line per se. And nobody else has, and whether he wants to work in basketball or not, once he's done, I think my understanding and the reporting has been that I think he would be happily on his way out and leaving NBA basketball, that he wanted to do it his way and he wanted to give it a shot and move on. So maybe it's not the end of the world, but I do think it's Nico Harrison has by far the most to lose. I mean, I guess you could say if Dereck Lively is injured another year, that really changes whether he is like a building block with Cooper Flagg or what type of money he's going to make, what type of like outcome you have for him. So toss Lively in there maybe a little bit as well. I guess kind of those are the two that most instantly come to mind. Yeah,
I'm seeing some interesting answers here so far with Sarah. Shout out to Sarah who's in the chat. AD has something to lose this upcoming season potentially. Also, Klay Thompson has something to lose this upcoming season as well.
Yeah, girlfriend?
Wow.
I hope not.
I think he's happily committed in his relationship.
I'm just saying, that would be a devastating loss.
I mean...
and you never know. I've heard some convincing arguments from people in this office.
Oh, okay. That's... Okay, there you go. That would be disappointing because Klay's had a hell of an offseason for him. Did you see he was out there pitching in a baseball game the other day? Klay Thompson was?
You mean the first pitch?
No. Like in an actual baseball game, Klay Thompson.
Is that legal? Can you do that? Isn't that in the contract somewhere?
It's been done. He's already done
Klay Thompson will miss the 2025-26 NBA season with Tommy John surgery.
Right. I'll show you the video afterwards. But yeah, he was out there pitching this past weekend in a baseball game. So, of course, his brother.
I did not see the video.
Yeah, his brother is currently a Major League Baseball player. But yeah, there's a lot of folks who think that Klay Thompson, Anthony Davis, and others have the most to lose. I'm going to go with, in this case, yeah, it's the president and general manager who has the most to lose. I mean, Tim laid out all the reasons why. Like, this has to work, and it has to work pretty damn quickly, because if it doesn't, not only is it a massive disappointment for this team on the floor, but also the conversation around how this team has changed over the last 6-7 months as well will definitely be under the microscope, and what that means for the long-term future of this team. So not just this year, but the 26-27 year is the year as well, that if this doesn't go well, there could be even that much more change. Sarah also says Jaden Hardy has this last chance to show that he could play in the NBA. So there's also that. He's a good nominee for this as well, because he's already making $6 million a year.
Yeah, I just don't want to punch down,
Sarah clearly was willing to do so. Shout out to Sarah. So yeah, those who has the most to gain, the most to prove, the most to lose this upcoming season when it comes to our Mavericks Superlatives. Keep letting us know in the chat who you believe as fit those Superlatives going into this upcoming season. Coming up next here on the DLLS Mavs podcast, we're going to be joined by Slightly Biased, who put together an epic video discussing the entirety of the craziness that was the Mavericks season, even outside of the 77 trade. He'll join us next here on the DLLS Mavs show. But first, I want you to become part of our DLLS Sports family, and the easiest way that you can do that is to like, comment, and subscribe to DLLS Sports while you're here. We are 1,500 subscribers away from the magical 30,000 mark. So if you want to, let your friends know, let your family members know, hey, come hang out and support DLLS Sports, as we are that much closer to 30,000 subscribers. We are just weeks away from celebrating our 1-year anniversary. In fact, 3 weeks away celebrating our 1-year anniversary at DLLS Sports. We couldn't have done it without you here supporting us. Make sure you visit alldlls.com as well. And to become a diehard member, click that diehard tab. You can check out some tremendous things that we have, including, Tanner, our Dallas collection when it comes to the brand new t-shirts that we have, part of DLLS Sports. In fact, did you realize today is the anniversary? I had to go back and look. It is the anniversary of Robin Ventura beating the hell out, Nolan Ryan beating the hell out of Robin Ventura. You know that?
I did not know that.
Yes, today.
But I now know that.
You do know that.
Yeah.
In fact, that is the anniversary today.
We'll actually be posting something for today.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Radigan wrote a little
is that true?
mini essay about it.
Oh, looking forward to that.
Or it may have already been posted. I don't know. But yeah. Check DLLS Rangers.
Okay, so we were looking for that. In fact, this day in 1993, Nolan Ryan took care of business and beat the living hell out of Robin Ventura, sparking one of the most iconic brawls in Major League Baseball. So I'm looking forward to that. Shout out to our Texas Rangers show, the DLLS Rangers podcast. Shout out to our guys, Jeff Wilson and John Radigan, who they talk about this team, whether they're winning or losing. Get it together, Rangers. Get it together. Didn't play well the weekend. Lost 3-4 against Seattle this weekend. So trying to make us some ground in the AL West. Again, alldlls.com. Become a diehard member today. Let's welcome in our special guest here on the DLLS Mavs podcast.
Let's go.
He is a veteran that survived the 2024-25 Dallas Mavericks season, and he lived to tell about it in an hour and 25 minutes.
His ankle did not.
His ankle didn't necessarily survive here recently.
But
man, it's still in the boot. You're still in the boot slightly.
Out of the cast into the boot.
I can walk, though.
Yeah, okay, he can walk, though. It's our guy.
Okay, baby steps.
Slightly
Baby
biased.
steps. Walk in the boot.
Yeah.
Joining us here on the show, Slightly. What's going on?
Not much, man. Dog days of summer are here, and now we just talk about the same 5 things over and over again.
Pretty much.
The reframing of several things over and over again. I think that's one of the more unique parts about content creation, especially when you're talking about a particular team. Like every single day is how do you reframe and discuss the same things that are happening or not happening with this team and do so creatively? What inspires that for you to be able to do something like that each day?
Well, you could just do what ESPN and Shams does, where it's just, all right, do the Giannis trade thing. Just let's do the Giannis trade thing again.
Did you see the Milwaukee Bucks official X account?
Yeah, I just saw that just like a couple minutes ago.
Yeah, they put up. They just had a yawning emoji in response to Shams reporting about Giannis Antetokounmpo and his decision to do that. So let's talk about the video that you just did recently. Great video, by the way, detailing the craziness that was the 24-25 season. And one of the things I enjoyed most about it slightly was that it really not only took us down memory lane of what happened throughout the course of the year, but there were several things I had forgotten about that happened, including, and I texted you about this, the whole plague that swept the team for a good portion of the season there, where Najee Marshall was like in and out, sick. It was like, what the hell is going on with this team and what's paying past? So what was the most enjoyable part about this project for you?
I mean,
was there anything
enjoyable about the project for you?
Well, it was funny looking back at the plague thing because I was reminded, like, that was the biggest story of the season for a lot of the season, was this reoccurring illness that was going around. But I mean, I thought it was funny. I found there was a video I made on my channel in like January where it was titled, "This is what a season from hell looks like." So it was just funny looking back at how bad the season was going up until the trade, where it just progressively got worse and worse, that you almost forget how bad it was up until the trade, that it was outside of a few good weeks in December. Like, there was not a lot going on for the team at any point during the season. And it was pretty funny to look back on.
The video is called "The Craziest Season in History: A Full Timeline of the 2024-2025 Dallas Mavericks" by Slightly Biased, of course, who's joining us now. 24-25 veteran. Was there any joy? What was name one good thing that happened that I have forgotten about? Because I have not. I'm getting through the video. I have not actually fully watched. You dropped an hour and a half. I had to watch a 3-hour Kubrick film yesterday instead of this. So
that's fair.
Yeah.
Well, the good thing about YouTube is I saw some people are like, dude, you should have made that a series. And I'm like, you can just pause the video Like there's a pause feature and then come back.
Yeah, that's my plan. 10-minute chunks. 10-minute chunks. It's great. It's great for like lunch.
Yeah, there you go. The best thing, I mean, for me, Brandon Williams probably was the best part of the season. Like a two-way guy that turned into an actual NBA player. That's pretty rare and always exciting.
You didn't go back to the Dereck Lively Giannis comparisons in the preseason?
Oh God, no, because I was like, please guys, please quit. Like this is where things go wrong for these young guys. Even with like shooting, Dereck Lively shooting, I'm like, guys, please stop, because you're just going to disappoint yourself when he's not taking 5 threes like you're hoping he does a game, and it's more maybe 3 over the course of the whole season.
I just think Giannis is like, it's too low of a comparison. Like he's going to be better than that.
There should be more the Hakeem, Kareem type of. He's gotten better at the jump hooks.
Like basically the way I view Dereck Lively, imagine if Steph Curry was tall. That's going to be him in a few seasons.
You know, every NBA player can shoot in an empty gym, but Dereck Lively's different.
Yeah.
He does it in a way that's just...
Damn.
You just tell it's different than everybody else.
You didn't ask him yesterday, Dereck, whether he's going to be Steph Curry?
No, did not ask him about that yesterday. He was having too much fun with the campers that he had going around yesterday.
Are we still doing is he going to shoot threes this year?
We literally did a whole segment last week about it.
I was about to say, was that y'all that said that he only shot one time?
Shot one jumper last season. Yeah, that was my stat that I want to pull. It was the fewest in the league by any player with at least 800 minutes. One jump shot. and that jump shot was very clearly a floater. But I'm just going by Second Spectrum's classifications of what shots are.
I'd have to see what Steven Adams' 2 jump shots are.
He shot 2.
I'm about to say,
I
look it all up. He look it all up.
I can pull them up and send them to you. They are probably late shot clock, kind of one-handed floater type stuff that got defined as jumpers as well.
No, I say because I saw Steven Adams had 2, and then I was thinking to myself, like, I cannot imagine a Steven Adams jump shot.
It is. I mean, everybody shoots free throws, so I guess the idea is like if you're standing at the free throw line and nobody's guarding you, just kind of use that form again.
The noted good free throw shooter, Dereck Lively.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
What's your big picture thoughts on the season, on the off season, the summer? Sorry.
I mean, I consider it a huge successful offseason for the Mavericks only because they got Cooper Flagg. But, you know, I think they're a good, solid team. That's kind of where I'm at with them. I don't think they're a contender. They would have had to have done something crazy, I think. And I do wonder if getting Cooper Flagg maybe just toned down how aggressive they were maybe going to be. Where now it's like, all right, maybe we hold on to some picks or maybe we hold on to some future assets versus making a play for like a Kobe White or something. And we just see what we have in Flagg and then do what we need to do beyond that. But I think they'll be good. I just think, you know, nobody wants to hear it. Everybody hates me for it when I talk about the Thunder because I think they're incredible. And I think they're going to continue to be incredible and much better than the Mavericks. And I think the Nuggets and Rockets are probably much better. But then outside of those 3, I think, you know, the Mavs could be the 4th seed. Like, that wouldn't shock me that much.
Yeah, I've described it as like kicking the can down the road. Where it's like eventually there has to be trades that happen. Like just you can't look at the roster and not assume that they're going to consolidate in some way, somehow.
Yeah.
But
I mean, the Gafford
if you don't do it the second, it's fine.
I thought for sure Gafford was going to get traded. Like I thought for sure that was like locked, set in stone. So him signing was surprising to me. But you know, would I be shocked if he finished that contract with the Mavs? Absolutely. That would be stunning to me if he finished that contract. So. We'll see. Definitely, they'll make something. They're the most aggressive team at the deadline. We know that for sure. Every year.
I have a question for you about your videos. Where the hell do you get these backgrounds? And like, how do you decide? So I'm just like skimming through this. I'm jumping ahead. You know, I've got like my little marker where I'm at, like at 24, and it's just paused on what appears to be the fields of Normandy, burning. So
I had that one saved on my computer. I don't remember what it was from. I think it's a Battlefield 1 like landscape.
Okay.
Just from like a game. I think. Okay. I think I got it from YouTube.
Okay. You can just how do you get them from YouTube? I'm so behind on this stuff.
Well, that's a insider secret.
Okay.
Yeah, it's classified for him.
Do I ask permission from the creator? No.
Okay.
Ask for forgiveness later.
Do you ever come across a specific background and you realize this is going to be perfect for this X or Y thing in the future, and you just like feel an emotion about it that like no other human has ever experienced, because they don't usually look at backdrops to YouTube videos. They don't think like that.
No, I can't say. I'll just be like, all right, I need something that looks like it's a dystopian background, like a war-torn background.
Okay.
So that's just what I go find. I did go, there was a process there, actually. I had like 6 different backgrounds I cycled through.
Well, you picked all the right ones for your video, because one of the funniest parts about the whole video too is the fact that you played every Mavericks employee toward the beginning of the video during the season ticket holder conversation. He was like, look,
yeah,
just make the call. Just make the call and let's just see what happens. And then as the call's being made, and then your grandmother's like, wait, what? Nope, not. She renews every year. It's fine. It's fine. She renews every year. It's like the only one you got to renew their season ticket for.
Well, it's funny because somebody messaged me once in like March or something. And it was like, hey, man, I work for I do season ticket stuff, and you should just hear some of the conversations or see some of the emails we get. It's like crazy.
Yeah. No, I thought it was very well played. I do want to ask you this, though, because, Luka was out here thirst trapping last week, and you had some interesting thoughts about the whole thing with him, appearing on Men's Health. What have you made about, Luka getting all IG modeled up, hanging out with the Backstreet Boys and all this other stuff with his boy Rob Pelinka? What have you made of all of this?
Yeah, it's kind of weird because that's not really who Luka's always been. But I think if I just had to guess, I think Jordan Brand sees a real legit pathway for him to become the face of the league. So that's what they're really pushing hard. I don't know. If I were Luka, I have to imagine Luka doesn't want to do the Good Morning America bits where they're asking him if he's on Ozempic, just because
that was a wild ass question. Like
That's
when
what I'm
they
saying.
asked that question, I was like, whoa, they really went for the GLP-1 conversation. Okay, all right. Okay.
It's like, no, I'm a professional athlete who gets paid tens of millions of dollars to work out every day, all day. So
right.
That's what it's from. But no, yeah, I think it's, it is what it is. Luka's gotten into shape in the past for the Mavs. So I don't know if it's like I try to watch my words with this because there's no nuance allowed in any of these conversations. Like you just get screamed at and yelled at no matter what you say. But, it is. Yeah, if you're a Mavs fan, I think it's right to be a little frustrated. I think that's fair.
Yeah,
totally.
Yeah, and what I've said is like you said, I think pretty much every summer he works out. He could do a story about it. He's arrived nearly every time, nearly every season in shape. It's all about how he responds to the emotional ups and downs of the in season. And sometimes that starts really early. Like sometimes you look back at last season, and it's like you show up in shape and then you get hurt the day before training camp and you're ready by opening day. And between that time you showed up in shape and opening day, clearly something was lost in translation here. Clearly you did not keep things going. The other thing I'll say is like, yeah, I agree that Luka is not, I highly doubt that he was enjoyed being on Good Morning America. He has got slightly more willing to do stuff like this. He's at least said yes begrudgingly, like a little bit, like 5% more each year he's been in the NBA. So I can't imagine this was, it probably wasn't pulling teeth bad. It was probably just like, okay, fine, I'll do it if you say I have to. But it is weird. It is weird. I agree with you. I think the Jordan part is probably the best case scenario. I think obviously Luka's team also wanted to really push back at narratives. Some of them to an extent that were unfair. Some of them that, I think Mavs fans can have a lot of complicated feelings on. And but it's an athlete going around saying, look how fit I am. I'm doing my job.
I know. It is
and
weird.
I get it. It's just it was all in all this strange thing.
This is setting up for him to win the MVP. That's the conclusion I've come to, is like, this is a quote unquote reframing of a narrative to set up the story for him to be the league's MVP going into.
Shahid says Luka Ozempic.
That's
pretty good.
That's
do you think any athletes are on Ozempic? I really like, you lose too much muscle mass, don't you?
Yeah, I think I don't know for sure, but my impression is that like it's not good to not have an appetite as an athlete.
Yeah.
Like that's not the way you go around losing. Also, I don't think it would jive well with an athlete, but I don't know that for sure. Maybe like a pitcher or something.
We're not doctors.
I'm trying to think if I'm leading a team and I'm like, you need Ozempic, I'm looking for a trade immediately.
Yeah, exactly. If that's your first plan of action for me to get no, we got to try something else. Before we let you go, obviously the Luka trade was the most memorable thing from this past season. But when you reflected on the entirety of the season, what was kind of the common theme and thread that you landed on, given the totality of what was the 24-25 season for this team?
I mean, it felt like, so I always thought the 22-23 season when they missed a play-in was like worst case scenario. You play that season 100 times, you've just got the worst case scenario type of outcome. Last year just felt like every week you go back and look at it, it's like every week something bad happened with the team, whether that was an injury or poor play. I mean, I went back and I looked, they were 1-6 in their first 7 clutch games. Like, I forgot how bad of a start they got off to the season. They were 5-7 to start the season. Like, I remembered it being slow, but I didn't remember it being that actively bad.
And the Utah loss was the worst.
The Jazz loss, yeah, that one was.
Oh, come on, Tanner. Jeez.
What did Tanner
do? We have a bit wherever the Utah loss is mentioned.
Tanner hits the bell.
Yeah, our producer hits the bell.
That's right. He was not trying to hit the bell.
Oh, that was. Yeah, that one was so bad looking back on it. But they had so many bad losses that it was just everything that could have gone wrong for the Mavericks did. Like, that was it. Everything that could have gone wrong up until the trade, and then you get Anthony Davis, and then he has the first 3. And literally, you think to yourself, the only thing that could make this worse is if Anthony Davis gets hurt in his first game. Like, that is literally the worst possible thing that could happen now. And then he gets hurt in his very first game. I mean, it was just insane.
It was a season to remember or not remember, depending on your perspective on it. But nonetheless, Slightly Biased survived the 24-25 season as evidenced.
Not in one piece.
It is almost in one piece. Well, actually, you did survive one piece. It was just postseason after the season.
Right.
Yeah,
that's
right.
Got
hurt. Slightly, tell the folks where they can find you and where your work is, man.
YouTube.com/Slightly Biased. That's really it.
Slightly, it's good to see you as always, my man. Thank you for hanging out with us here on the show today, and we'll talk to you soon, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, boys.
Absolutely.
There you go. Slightly Biased, good enough to join us here on the show. When we come back, we finish up discussing what was the craziest season and reflect on some of the things that we remember from this past year. All that and more coming up next year on the DLLS Mavs.
But first, you should become a diehard for a lot of reasons.
A lot of reasons.
A whole lot of reasons. A whole lot of reasons that Kevin just walked you through. But I'm going to give you some more. Did you talk about the physical diehard card?
Oh, I didn't.
Unbelievable.
Thanks.
Oh.
Let me pull that out real quick.
Oh, man.
While you keep
talking. So if you become a diehard, if you come support us, obviously we accept all of your support in any way.
Bam.
If you listen to a single show, you're supporting us. A single reel, a single video, a live show, any of that. If you hit like on the stream, if you comment, if you comment after the video has been published, it's all support. But if you want to go a step further in your support for DLLS and our coverage of the Mavericks, obviously, but if you're a Dallas local guy or girl, if you're also a Cowboys fan, Rangers fan, a Stars fan, if you're interested in what our good friends all around this studio have to share, and go to alldls.com/diehard.
And you get 20% off our events. You get access to the member-only Discord, access to all the content that our terrific writers have, as well as our guy Tim Cato covering the Dallas Mavericks, Sean Shapiro, Sam Nestor covering the Dallas Stars, Jeff Wilson with your Texas Rangers, and of course the greatest beat writer in the history of the Dallas Cowboys, Clarence E. Hill Jr., who is currently still in Oxnard, California, getting still
unbelievable.
He just talked to Michael Irvin over the weekend. He's getting all the scoops, all the news, everything you need to know about the Micah Parsons contract or lack thereof. Clarence Hill is all over it in California. So
can we trade Micah for Clarence?
No.
Okay.
We got to keep the OG around. We got to keep the OG.
Okay. I was just wondering whether it was possible.
Yeah.
Plausible.
I don't think so. We want to keep the OG around. So if you want to check out his work, alldlls.com, become a diehard member today and join the over 28,500 subscribers right now with DLLS Sports. Let's finish up on our show here today. We'll be back, of course, tomorrow at 12 p.m. at our regularly scheduled time. Our guy Mark Stein will hopefully be able to join us tomorrow as well. We were just talking with Slightly Biased in our last segment. If you missed that, make sure you download and subscribe to the podcast wherever you get your pods for free. Just search DLLS Mavs, where you can watch here on YouTube as well. It was interesting watching his near hour-and-a-half video because the things that were brought back to mind and remembrance from this past season, aside from the trade, obviously, with Luka Doncic, which we chronicle into the wee hours of the morning here for DLLS Mavs, there was just a lot of things. There maybe were some signs at the beginning of the year that maybe this might not be the best season.
But not right away, actually, weirdly. Well, I mean, after the first game, yes.
Yeah.
But in the first game, do you remember what happened?
The vibes were incredible.
Do you remember what happened in the first game?
Clay hit 6 threes.
Did he?
Yeah, Clay set a record, I believe, for hitting.
Oh, yeah. He also hit 6 threes.
Yeah, he hit 6 threes that game. Yeah.
I was going to say, for the second consecutive opening game, Dereck Lively outplayed Victor Wembanyama.
He sure did. Yeah.
Wemby was 5 of 18 that game. He had 17 and 9 on 5 of 18 shooting. Dereck Lively, coming off the bench, had 15, 11, and 6. 6 assists.
Yeah, 6 assists that night?
Yeah. Yeah,
Wow.
Second on the team behind Luka, of course.
Wow.
Yeah. He was great. He was great that game. Luka and Kyrie both shot poorly. Clay was very good.
Yeah, Clay was fantastic. I thought, like, when Clay had the game that he did, like I said, hitting those 6 threes, we thought, oh, this is exactly why Clay was brought here. There was at one point, he took a 3 from leave around the right wing. My man was so wide open. He had a chance to take a power dribble and then knock down a 3-pointer. Like, the looks that he was getting were completely wide open. Like, oh, this is going to be a lot of fun this upcoming year. And then
it took one game, and Dallas goes and loses to Phoenix Sun, missing Bradley Beal and Grayson Allen, and I think just those two. Might be missing somebody. I think just those two. And like, but as it turned out, like, at least the Suns were one of the best teams in the league last season, right?
That's right. They were really good.
Okay.
They
So,
didn't blow it up or anything.
You know, like looking back on that, you can understand how that was kind of like an understandable loss. Like, you know, you lose to a title favorite, somebody, you know, won a couple playoff rounds.
That's right, Sarah.
I am just being informed that the Phoenix Suns missed the playoffs last year.
That's right.
So.
They did. Sarah's right. Luka had that pretty highlight assist to PJ over the head, tossing it, and then made the 3-pointer. Yeah. The vibes were incredibly high after that game.
Ronald, good question. When does the season schedule get released? Possibly this week. I think usually like the week. I think it's going to be next week. It's just
Please be soon. Just give us something to talk about. Please.
Tanner's like, we need content desperately. Give us something to talk about.
I would imagine it's midweek this week or midweek next week, based off my understanding of when schedules get released year after year after year when I have done that.
By the way, real quick shout out to Classic Stain Lover with the 2 super chats. He had the one that we read earlier about not being more active. We want you to be more active here on the show. And then the $4.99.
Well, he said he's still heartbroken.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, he explained why.
Yeah, come hang out.
You can't mend a broken heart.
We're trying
with a YouTube show.
We're trying.
We are going to be the first YouTube show that
mends
heals
broken hearts. Yeah.
Sure.
KG,
we're gonna reach through the screen and fix you.
The $4.99 super chat. KG, miss you on the Wings podcast. Hope you come back. Well, hopefully I won't get traded like Dejanay was this week. No, I'm just joking. I'll be back.
Oh yeah, what happened with her?
She got traded to the Minnesota Lynx.
Why?
She wasn't very good.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Diamond Miller's coming to Dallas, so that's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, appreciate the love. Thank you so much.
Let's see. Other things I remember from last season. Quentin Grimes and Najee both took a sec to get rolling. I think they both went like 5 games before either of them scored more than 4 points.
You remember when Quentin Grimes got benched in that Denver game?
Yep.
And then he came
That was the 4-game losing streak all by 1 shot or less.
Mm-hmm. Tanner, remember that one time I lost my damn mind when Spencer Dinwiddie and the Dallas Mavericks lost to the Miami Heat?
Yeah, then they get hot like right after
They won 14-17.
It was you. Yeah, it's all you.
It was all because of me. You're welcome.
And Bobby said the Mavs are good. Get used to it. Cold open. Not bad.
Okay, so when they won those 14 out of 17 games, I thought, oh, this is the team that we expected. Like Luka had the massive triple-double game against the Golden State Warriors. The Mavericks started to click on all cylinders, like defensively. Like everyone was playing at an insanely high level. We were like, oh man, this is the team that we thought was going to compete at the top of the West this year. And then literally everything changed forever on Christmas Day. And as the boys and girls say, the rest was history from there. But yeah, they entered that game against the Minnesota Timberwolves on Christmas Day 19-10. I believe they were third in the Western Conference at that point. And the vibes were incredible.
Sarah brought up the one I was Najee.
Oh, Najee beating the hell out of Yusuf Nurkic when he was at the Phoenix Suns.
And then that one woman on Twitter painted it and sent it. Somehow the Mavs had a copy of it, like an oil painting of that moment.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember that. You have to show me that.
Najee, Nurkic.
Shout out to Albert, says this podcast has been therapy for us. It's been therapy for us as well. Yeah, that's the night that Najee Marshall became a certified legend. The knife! Actually, formerly known as the knife. Yeah, he doesn't like the nickname anymore. He wants a new nickname. But yeah, that was the night that Najee Marshall certified became a legend.
You've really never seen this? Genuinely?
Oh, I've not seen that before. That is amazing. That is an incredible picture. You have to
Matt Riccardi and Najee just sitting together holding this painting.
That's an incredible painting.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to tweet that out so you can so people can see it. Seriously, hashtag free Najee. And
I'll DM it to you, Tanner.
But yeah, no, the season in and of itself was, I've never seen anything like it in sports, honestly, from the start of the season to the winning of the 14 to 17 games. Obviously, what happened after Christmas, with the trade itself and everything that ensued after that, I've never seen anything like that in sports. And I don't think, honestly, we'll ever see anything like that in sports. Trades like this come once in a lifetime. Babe Ruth, Luka Doncic, they happen once in a lifetime. Sarah says we have to call him the Hammer. Najee Marshall. You have to workshop that to Najee.
Maybe.
Shahid, you're doing a lot. I see what you're talking about. You're doing a lot.
We'll figure it out when he comes on the show.
That's right. When he comes on the show, when Stein makes it happen, when he comes on the show. Radiant Valkyrie says, I will never forget AD yelling, oh, man, I'm here. Then playing 9 games total.
That was in his debut,
he
right?
showed up in some crucial. So
let me tell you something. Those 2.5 quarters that Anthony Davis had in his debut was some of the most dominant basketball I have ever seen. Tanner remembers watching. We were sitting there watching the game. I am losing my mind because he is literally doing every single thing on the floor that you could possibly imagine a guy of that talent and of that skill level doing. He was knocking down threes, blocking shots, dunks, put back dunks. Like, it was the full Anthony. Unfortunately, it was the entirety of the Anthony Davis experience through the 2.5 quarters, and then unfortunately him getting injured. But for that game against the Rockets, it made me forget just in just that little bit of a moment, what happened with the trade, because he was as dominant as he's capable of being.
You're saying you're specifically referring to AD, not the Mavs in general. Although kind of both.
Anthony Davis in that 2.5 quarters. Yeah. I was like, because I was reminded very quickly, that dude is really damn good. Like, when Anthony Davis is healthy and on his game, he is a top 10, top 15 player in this league, and arguably the best two-way player in the game when he is on the floor. It's just,
and that's why I bring up that stat about that game where it's like, this is the worst shot quality they've generated all game. It's not meant to say that. It's just meant to say that that game wasn't proof of anything. But what I will say is, like, yes, they passed the eye test that game. However, I am also very aware that if you shoot your best percentage on 3-pointers in any game all season, or second best, I believe it was, I think I personally have a eye test bias that when shots, like when threes are going in, you think everything's perfect. And threes are just random like that. So this isn't to say it was a bad game or a bad performance. Obviously, it just doesn't matter. It was last season. The team they have is much different now going into next year. Not much different, but certainly different. Much different if you have Cooper Flagg on the team. And yeah, it's all just a little bit different. But yeah, man,
what a season it was.
What a season
it was. I think as we start to move forward here for the rest of the offseason going into next year with media days coming up, at the end of September with training camp, right after that, there will be a lot more look backs on the season given what it was, but also the chance to move forward now, obviously with Cooper Flagg and what that means for this franchise and the insane luck that they got to be able to get the number 1 overall pick with a 1.8% chance that they got.
Doncic is no Babe Ruth. It's very disrespectful to compare the two.
Low
says
key,
Baron
it's a
Blonde.
little bit more of an apt comparison than what you may think if you start thinking about, the whole being in shape thing.
I've never seen Baron in the chat before. Maybe that's Babe's burner. Maybe Babe is upset that he got compared to. Does Babe know about YouTube?
No.
Ruth?
All right. It's time to go.
Okay.
Shout out to our guy Tanner for making us look good and sound good as always. We always appreciate you, sir. Thank you to Slightly Biased for joining us here on the show as well. Make sure you check out his work on YouTube. We'll be back tomorrow, of course, here on the DLLS Mavs podcast. Our guy Mark Stein with his latest chronicles from the weekend that was for him in Los Angeles, plus the latest when it comes to the Dallas Mavericks and everything happening in NBA free agency. And Bobby will be back later on this week here on the show as well.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
We'll see if he remembers how to do a podcast when he comes back.
He has to go back to school. That's why he's
got it.
Right.
Got it. I got it. Shout out to our guy Tim Cato. He's our Mavs beat writer. I'm your host, Kevin Gray. We are DLLS Mavs. We'll talk to you tomorrow at 12 p.m. right here on DLL Sports Channel. Enjoy the rest of the day. We'll talk to you later. Peace.
We all silly like the mayor.